I am now. Let's just get rid of this little Heidi thing as well. There we go. So, let me see. I know we've only got an hour, and I know this is a bit time consuming, this thing that we're going to go through. So we'll do what we can. I'm not going to do anything fancy with the fireworks, just one firework, show how to put a sound effect in. We'll upload it and we'll go, because you can't hear sounds in the stream anyway on the screen. You can't hear my sound effects, so I think the best thing's to upload it and then we'll go over and have a look at it once we've done it now. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's just get into my old blender. Still got it wrong. Come on, Lisa. Yeah, Egypt. There's my old blender. So I'm going to create something in this version, show you how we do bloom in the old version. I'll save it and then we'll reopen it in the new one and I'll show you what the issues are and how to fix it. So very simple. I'm just going to hit A and delete everything. Hit 1 on my numpad to go into front orthographic view. And I'm going to bring that down a bit. I'm going to add in 2 items. One of them is going to be the emitter, which is the particles are going to emit from, because we need particles. Fireworks essentially are just a load of sparks. So I'm going to create my object as an icosphere, and down here I'm going to increase the number of faces, so subdivisions to 3, so I get a lot more faces for the particles to emit from, and I'm going to reduce the size down to 0.1. That'll do. And then that's going to be the emitter, so I'll just rename that. And I'll create another one. This is going to be the particle. It doesn't need as many faces, so I'm just going to reduce it down to maybe 2. Doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day we're going to be rendering this out as a video, so it doesn't matter. If your PC can handle loads of geometry and awesome effects, go for it, because at the end of the day we're just making a video out of it to bring into Unity. So that's going to be my particle, and then I'll hide the emitter for now. I'm going to go into the rendered view in the viewport display, and you can see we've got a grey background. I want it to be black. We want it to be jet black, because anything black is eventually going to be transparent anyway. So I've just turned the strength down to 0. I'll just turn off the grid as well. So we've only got the particle. It's invisible because we haven't given it a material yet. So I'm going to create a material. And where we've got the principled BSDF, if you click on this little green thing, you can change it to an emission shader. So now we can see it. And then, oh, excuse me a second while I just mute myself again. Goodness gracious. I thought I was going to have a bit of a coughing fit there, and I didn't. I just had to gasp. Sorry about that. I am having problems with just hay fever, I think, just the time of year. So we've got our particle. I'm going to go into shading, and I'm going to duplicate that. Didn't want to duplicate the whole lot, just that. And we're going to use, I went through this last week. Don't ask me why this works, it just does. I discovered it on a video I happened to come across, and I can't for the life of me remember where I saw it. But we basically mix them together, change the mix shader down to a factor of 0.2 or whatever suits you. But this is the bit where we have a light fall off node. No idea why this works, it just does. So I just do it and crank these up, right up to like maybe 200 and 300. So when we go back to the viewport, and we turn on bloom, this is in the old version of Blender, remember, turn on bloom, and we got this with a load of glow. And if we change this colour to an orangey colour, we can change the radius down to 3-ish. You can adjust the intensity as well, just do whatever you like the look of, but I just usually leave it like that for now. So that's our particle setup. I'm going to move it down. I usually stick it way down below. So move G for grab, Z on the Z axis, and I just type it -10. So it's gone. It's way down here somewhere. Because we're just going to use it to emit from our little object we've got here, which is going to be the firework. So I'm going to move this down here. Excuse me, I still feel like I'm going to cough. I do apologise. So I'm going to animate this. I'm going to go from 1 to about 75. I think we're working on 24 frames a second, but if we round it up and just say we're working on 25 frames a second, that's going to be 3 seconds for it to go up to say 20 meters. You can change your frame rate here in the output tab. So by default it's always on 24. Sometimes I change it, sometimes I don't. For the sake of 1 frame, I'm not bothered, to be honest. Per second, I'm not bothered. So I'll bring up my timeline, and you can see with the little marker we're on frame 1 there. So I'm going to go into the object properties tab, and under location Z, I'm going to hit this little dot and mark a keyframe. So that's fixed now. On frame 1 it has an elevation of no meters. So by the time we get to about frame 75, I want it to be at 20 meters. So I change that to 20 and mark another keyframe. So now if I play this, you can see our little item is going all the way up the top and I can't see it. So I'm just going to stop that and zoom out a bit and move that down so that I can see it at the top. So that is our firework taken off. Now we want to add the particle systems. So this little tab here is for particles. Click the plus tab and we need 2 particle systems. The first one is going to be the whiz or the zoom as it takes off, and then when it reaches the top it's going to explode, and that's going to be the second particle system. So the first one, it runs from 1 to 75, so frame start 1, frame end 75. And we can actually go, I'll just turn the grid off again, we can just run this now and tweak it while it's running, but I don't want it to just do nothing right up into frame 250, so I'll change that to 100, and then it'll just keep looping back. So now what we can do is we can play around with some of these settings. First thing I always do is turn the lifetime randomness up to 1, and that means that you don't get all the particles all vanishing at exactly the same time. Some of them die earlier than others. The next thing I'm going to do is adjust under render properties, change it from the default halo, which is these white balls, to our particles. So we change it to object, and using the eyedropper I just choose the particle. I also turn the scale randomness all the way up, and then I can play around with the scale until it looks kind of right. It's a good idea to pause it so that it completes rendering all the bloom and you can see exactly how much there is. If you reduce the size of the particles, you get less bloom, basically. So I'll leave that like that for now. I can adjust it afterwards. Velocity is an important one. Every single face of that icosphere is emitting particles, and the normal velocity is the speed at which the particles zoom out from each face. Now if we turn this down to 0 for the zoom, we just get a thin trail, which is kind of what I want. But I don't want the particles to be falling to the ground like this either. I want the gravity to be a lot less. So under field weights, I'm going to change gravity to 0.1. And that means they're a lot lighter and they don't kind of fall as if they're made of brick anymore. What else can we do? We can reduce the lifetime to maybe about 10. So we get a much shorter trail as it's going up. So I'm reasonably happy with that for the time being. If I wish, I can tweak it afterwards, but I'm happy to leave the number of particles at 1,000. And I will add another particle system, and this time it's going to start from 75, but it's going to end at 76 because we just want to bang, just one frame. Again, they're just dropping to the ground, so I'll change my gravity to 0.1. We want a bit of gravity because, you know, the sparks do actually fall out of the sky, kind of. We'll change the object again to the particle. One thing I did forget to do actually with the first one, but it doesn't matter because when you do this on any particle system, it affects all of them on the object. We want to turn off under render show emitter and also under viewport display show emitter as well, and that way I can see all the particles. None of them are hidden behind the actual object itself. So we've got that far. We'll turn up the scale randomness again and then play with the scale. I'm going to increase the length of the timeline because you can see this is going over a little bit here. 120 is fine for now. And I'll just increase that till I can see the explosion starting. Can't really see enough, so I'm going to finish the actual animation itself and then work on the particle size. So 75 to 76, we'll leave that at 50 for now. Velocity, I'm going to turn that up to about 10. Boom. But that's huge. We need to damp that. So we go into the physics tab and under dampen, I'll put a little bit on 0.1. That's a bit better. But we can make that explosion a bit bigger. So I'll turn up the velocity to 15. That's reasonably okay. But my scale is way too high. So I'm going to turn that down to maybe something like that. 0.5-ish will do. So I'm reasonably happy with that. We've got a firework. I'm just going to save that as it is, and then I'll open it up in New Blender and show you the problems we have. No, actually, I'm not 100% happy with that, and the reason is I don't want it to start from the very beginning. I actually want a little bit of a delay. I want it to start from maybe frame 10. So I'm going to grab all of these keyframes and drag them up so it starts at 10. Does mean I'm going to have to adjust the particle settings. So it's now going to go from 10 to 84. I'm just going to move that to 85. It's easier to remember. So 10 to 85. 10 to 85. And then this is going to go from 85 to 86. And that should still work fine. There's just going to be a little bit of a delay before it starts. And I'm reasonably happy with that. So I'll save that as, I'll just overwrite untitled one. I'm just calling it untitled for now because it's going to be deleted anyway. It's not going to be a final project. So I've done that. I won't quit it. We'll open up New Blender and open untitled 1 into rendered view, and we'll play. And you can see we've got no bloom. The bloom's gone. And we'll go over here. Still in Eevee, but there's no box to turn on bloom. So what we have to do, we have to add the bloom in the compositing tab. So it has to be added afterwards. So what we do, well, there's a couple of things we need to do. First of all, while you're in the rendered view, pull down this little arrow And where it says compositor, click always, and it'll always show it after the compositing's been done, basically, so it's done on the fly. Then we want to turn on use nodes, and we get this node tree, and then we need to add a node called glare, and you'll get a few different options. If you just search for glare, choose bloom and stick that in the middle. And then if we go back here, we've got bloom, but it's massive. It's lovely and soft. It's way better than old Blender's bloom, but we need to tweak it a bit more. So I'm just going to do a vertical split here, and we'll change this to the compositor. Get rid of the end panel, and I'll just zoom in on here. And size, probably need to reduce the size a bit, maybe something like that. And the strength you can play around with, just whatever you're happy with. I'll leave it somewhere like that for now, and we'll have a look at the explosion. That is pretty bright, but we've got a nice bit of bloom going on. I'm reasonably happy with that. So that's basically how you do bloom in New Blender, in case anybody was struggling with that. So we've got our fireworks. The next thing we need to do is to render out the frames. So I'm just going to make it, let's see. Looks like I've got something going on already here. Let's just play that all the way through. Boom. Yes, I have. So you can see once it's played all the way through, that's the end of the actual animation. My lifetime's not long enough because they're all vanishing. Either that or I haven't got random lifetime. I haven't. So let's try that again. And that's much better. So they're actually disappearing gradually, which is exactly what I want. So I'm just going to bring the end of the timeline up to a little bit closer here. I'll make it 150, so we've got that little bit of buffer at the end. And that's what I'm going to render out as my video. So we'll go up here to the output tab, and it's already recognised that we'll have a timeline 150 frames long. That's fine. I'm going to pop this into my fireworks folder. I've just got one called frames. Actually, I've got a load of stuff in there I'll just get rid of. So just delete all of that. And it's gone. Right, so fireworks, frames, there we go. I'll pop it in there. I'm not going to use alpha. We just want RGB. And that's basically all you need to do. Export them as a PNG. So I'm going to hit Control and F12, or you can do render animation, whichever you're happiest with. But the first thing, just remember, change it to wireframe mode's the best before you render. Otherwise, your render window will have your rendered frames on, but it's also got to render in the viewport display as well. So just turn it to wireframe, and then you'll be saving some resources, and it may be marginally quicker as well. So no camera found, can't do that. So we need to add a camera, and I'm already in front orthographic view. So hit Control Alt and 0 on your numpad, and that will line up your camera to the same direction that you're facing. So all I need to do now is get the actual whole scene in. So I'm going to go here, and we'll see if we can do it while it's playing. I'll open up my end panel, and under view there's a little tick box that says camera to view. Tick that for now, and that way you can just move things around while it's actually kind of playing, I guess. Let me just grab me emitter, because I want to be able to see that. We'll zoom out a bit. There we go. So it starts from there. So I need that to be kind of on the ground. And by the time it hits 80, that's, you see, that's a bit too. Is it? I don't know. I'm just a bit of a fanny, I think. I need things to be done right. Let's get that back up here. And up here. Now I've gone too far because the bloom is going off the edge of the camera view. We don't want that because that will make it obvious that it's a video and it's going to look absolutely awful. So we'll zoom out a little bit. Move that right down at the bottom. And that's much better. I'm happy enough with that. Okay. So just remember to untick this, because if you then move your view, you'll move the camera setup and you'll have ruined it all. So just untick that afterwards. But the camera's all set up. There it is there. So we just need to hit Control and F12 and let it do its bit. It shouldn't take too long. We're only doing, what, how many, 150 frames or something. Now this could be a little bit alarming. Don't panic where you can see the bloom flashing on and off. All that's happening is that because new Blender adds the bloom afterwards, using the compositor, it's not going to show on every frame, because sometimes it could have already done the compositing and have already rendered the next frame before it even shows on this screen. So it'll look like it's flashing on and off. But you'll see once it's done, any second now, that all of the frames will have bloom. You can double check this by hitting render and then view animation, and it'll show you frame by frame. It's literally loading up all the PNG files that you've just created, and they do all have bloom. It's looking fine. So that's that. We'll just double check in our... Yeah, sorry, was that a question?
No, I flew across the room for a second.
All right, okay.
Sorry.
So we've got all our frames in there. Next thing we need to do is I'll just change the viewport display to the video sequencer. And we'll move this back to frame 1. And we add in our image sequence. So I'll select the first one, hit A to select all, and add image sequence. And that's them all in. And then going back to the viewport layout, do I need to do that? No, I probably don't. I just need to go to the emitter. We can see it's starting here. I'll just add one sound effect for ease for now. So we'll add the explosion at this point. So this is where the explosion starts at frame 85. So we're going to add in a sound there, which is, I've no idea where I've put it. There it is, explosion. My advice is always to use a WAV file, a WAV file, especially if it's going to be a long sound effect, or if you're going to be setting something to music, for instance, a display to music. If you've got a long piece of, like a sound or a piece of music, MP3s are already compressed. Blender has to uncompress it, do what it needs to do, put it into a video, and you always get lag with long sound effects. Just use something like this that it can handle much better. And they're easy enough to convert with Audacity or something if you've only got MP3s. So that's in there. What else do we need to do? We just need to render it. Now I'm going to render it at 50% the size because I want to keep the video file size down to a minimum. And to be honest, 50% is fine because you can still have a 1K render texture in Unity once we've done it, and it's going to be moving that quickly. You'll not see any real loss of quality. So I'm going to leave it as in the same folder as frames. It's already set up at 150 frames long. The only thing we need to change is PNG needs to be FFmpeg video. We need to change encoding from Matroska to MP4. I'll just leave it as medium quality for now because I just want to try and make this as quick as possible. Audio codec. I think the standard is usually AAC with MPEG videos, so I'm going to go with that. Stereo, we'll change that to mono. No need for stereo. Because I'm not going to be having like distance, what do you call it, spatial sound. Oh God, my brain. I just want it to be a general explosion all around when you see a firework in the sky. Bitrate, I'll turn that down. I think the minimum you can go to is 32, but it's going to sound pretty janky at 32. It sounds okay at 64. And it does seem to reduce the file size a bit as well for the video, so I always turn the bitrate down. And I think that's about it. Have I missed anything? I don't think so. So we literally do the same thing again, Control and F12, and let it put all of those frames together with the sound. It's done it already. So if I go into my frames folder, there's the video. If I play it, I should hear an explosion, but you're not going to hear it. Bang! Yes, that was quite loud actually, so I hope it doesn't deafen you when we put it into Unity. But here's my little village that I made for the Christmasville thing. I've taken everything out. There's none of the normal animations. It's just the basic village, so I'm going to put the firework display behind the houses here. So what I'm going to do is add in, I'm going to add in a quad. That's what I'm going to do, and we'll reset it back to the center, wherever that happens to be. It's here. Now it's facing the wrong way because the normal is facing this way, and we want it facing the other way so we can look through the village at the sky behind. So we'll change it on rotation to 180. I'm going to bring in my video. I'm going to add a video component to the video player, and it's asking for the video clip, so I'll bring that in. And it's asking for a render texture, so we'll create one. Where is it? Oh, everything's render texture. There we go. I'm not going to name it. We'll just leave it as render texture. So I'll plug that in there. Audio output direct, that's fine. I do want it. No, do I want it to loop? Yeah, we want it to loop because the video, by the time you load in, the video might have already played. So we do want it to go over again. It's only short. But be prepared when we go in, be prepared to turn your volume down. I don't want you to be deafened because I don't know what this is going to be like. What do I need to do now? We need to create a material for the quad. So I'm just going to call it video, and we'll drag that onto there. And the material is going to have the mobile particles additive shader, so that when we put the render texture on, it vanishes, because the render texture at the moment is completely black. So anything that's black is going to be transparent, and then you'll only see the actual particle display, the fireworks, on the screen. And the next thing we need to do is to increase the size of the render texture. I'm going to make it a 1K one because 256 it's going to look very blocky and horrible. So I've done that, and under video player, yeah, I have changed it to loop. So I think that's about it. I've set up my material. I think what I want to do though is change that material right now just to the default white so I can see what I'm doing to start with. Where is it? Default material. We'll keep it at that for now. And then we can start moving it around and resizing it to kind of where we want it to be. So I reckon we want it to be about 250 times the size it is, at least. And we'll move it back here, move it up a bit. I am literally eyeballing this for now, but if we zoom back down into the village and have a look as if we were actually standing there, might be better off actually playing it, to be honest. So I'll put my video material back on and play. And then I'll go back to scene. God, I'm being deafened by those explosions. I don't know if you can hear them, but move that up a bit to maybe something like that. Now, how close is it? I don't know. Yeah, I want it to be. Man, come on. Move that a little bit closer, something like that. You might want it much, much further away because it might be obvious if it's a screen if you're kind of looking up at an angle. But I'm going to put it there for now and see what it's like. But what I want to do is copy where the quad is now. Otherwise, I'm going to lose all of that. And then paste. There it is. That's exactly where I want it, I think. So, I guess we're probably about ready. Let's just build and upload, I suppose. Yes, I do want to see if the changes are made. Thank you very much. And we'll just sit here and have a chat for the next couple of minutes while it does that. And I'll
Why
have
do
a
I
drink
look
of
like
my
I
coffee.
collapsed under the desk? I was on the camera and I've looked at my avatar and I'm collapsed under the desk.
You look like you're on your knees
Yeah.
with your hands on the desk.
That's
And you're just being a naughty
fantastic.
child.
That's
Slouched in your chair till you
how?
fell
How did that happen to me? That's fantastic. Let me see if I can get up. Hang on. I'm feeling a bit tired. 1 second.
off.
Let's see. Right, here. CV. Hang on. Oh, I've forgotten how to. Am I up? Am I standing
You
up?
are. You're
Yep.
standing up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Actually, I'm just going to flip back to Blender again, because what I didn't mention was that you have all these channels as well, so you can actually have overlapping sounds by putting them in separate channels, which is worth knowing about. Because if, for instance, I wanted to have a sound from 0 to whatever, 10 to 85, or I might want it to go on a little bit longer even after the explosion started, I could do, and it'll automatically, if it won't fit in the same channel, Blender will automatically put it in the next available channel anyway. So that's worth remembering, that you can overlap sounds. But it looks like it might have finished. So, I know it's only one firework, but we did put a sound effect on it, so, and you can't see it on the screen, so shall we nip over and please be prepared to hit your volume button. I don't want to burst your eardrums.
I'll turn the volume down before we go in.
Okay. I'm just going to, if I can do, because I can never work out how, get me, where is it? What did I call it? I think I called it Fireworks. Fireworks tutorial space. Drop a portal. There we go. Right. Shall we nip in and have a look and see if it's worked?
Here it goes.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I think
did
someone
warn
just got
you.
shot. Jeez. That's one of those expensive fireworks. They're the
Yeah.
50 quid ones.
Yeah, they are.
I used to hate them when I was a kid, the really loud ones.
So yeah, I know we have literally done one firework, but there was quite a bit to cover, and I didn't want to kind of spend too much time making a bit of a display. But like I say, now you know how to add sounds, I can kind of pre-make a little bit of a display for next time, and we can add some sounds and overlap some and stuff as well, and try and make something that's worth looking at instead of just the one thing. If anyone's interested, as I say,
Sorry, what were you saying, Lisa?
I'm happy to
That's
do
brilliant.
whatever anybody else wants to do, though. If you've had enough of fireworks, you just got to tell me. But you know, there's more to do. I can still expand on it a bit more if anybody's interested. It doesn't have to be fireworks. You can do anything you like. With this, you could have, like, you know, spaceships flying around in the sky on a video if you wanted, rather than actually having to have, you know, like geometry being rendered and stuff. It's got its potentials, and it's a good way of, like, saving on resources and stuff.
Have you tried to make a cube map skybox using this technique? I wonder.
I haven't. I know the basic principle about it, how to do it. Yeah. Actually, that's a lie. I have made a cube map before, and made a skybox. So yeah.
In a video, sort of animated way. I would be curious if it's possible.
I'm sure it would be possible. I just don't know how off the top of my head, because you'd have to render the frames in a certain way to get them to fit a cube map.
You might need a custom shader to sort of...
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, you could be right.
But it's easy to imagine, right? The other sort of sides of a box around us, and then we have a whole sky, and right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be easy enough if it's something like this, and you don't need it directly overhead as well. It would be easy enough to just pop it on like an enormous cylinder. Just have a big circular wall around you. That would be a possibility.
That's not a bad...
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've still got 15 minutes.
Looks good.
Shall we head back and see if there's anything else we can do? Has everybody had enough? Has anybody got questions? Not easy to ask questions when you're being deafened by explosions, though. So we can head back if you want.
Yeah, defo.
Okie dokie. Do I need to drop a portal or hang on? Somebody's already done it. Thank you. Hey, well, it worked. That was a relief. I'm always worried when I upload stuff in case we load in and would fall through the floor or something like that. Or the video just doesn't show up at all, even though it does in Unity. Yeah, I guess that's basically it. Has anybody
It's awesome.
got any questions, or are they happy just to let me fiddle on with this a bit more and do something else for the next 10 minutes and try and
If
expand
you
on the
do something
display?
else. Oh, you get to expand on the display. Okay, guess
Well,
I have a question for you for after the lesson, please.
You can ask me now if you
Uh,
want.
Well, I'm going to show my ignorance here. I may be able to use Blender and make models, but I have no idea on shaders. And I want to make a campfire. And I've got, rather than like flat planes with transparencies on that you can use a wind shader for, I quite fancied I don't know who it was that did it in Altspace, but they had those, what I'll call bobble trees, circular. Low poly trees, and they added a moving texture on, like a leaf, a rustling leaf texture. I don't even know where to start, and I
Yeah.
don't know how it was done, or how would it even be done. I know nothing about shaders, so
That is done in the shader, yeah. It's easily done in Amplify Shader Editor using
okay.
vertex displacement.
Oh,
Now, I
right.
will be more than happy if anybody has had enough of fireworks. I'd be more than happy to cover that next week if anyone's interested. Basically because I would need to have a little bit of prep time. I just want to make a couple of little models and make it worthwhile showing you how it actually works and being able to demonstrate properly rather than just getting into Amplify and starting to throw nodes together. I'm happy to do it next week.
Wow. I'm happy to follow what anyone else wants, even if it's in the next couple of weeks. If people want to carry on with fireworks first, you should ask them.
Yeah. Well, I expect everyone just to shout up. I mean, it's not like I'm a teacher or anything. I'm not gonna. I'm just one of you guys that
You
just
are a
tries to share
teacher.
what I know.
No, Elise, you're amazing. Oh.
So, yeah, I would much rather do what I know people want to see. I would much rather concentrate on that rather than me dictating what you're getting each week. So, just tell me. Like I say, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to look at Amplify next week or the week after, and we'll do a bit more on fireworks next week, a bit more on sounds, maybe showing how to set fireworks to music or something. It's entirely up to you.
Well, I'm happy to wait, Lisa, a week or two because I think it's only fair that you finish. If there's more to come for this project for everyone else to finish their fireworks. So in a week or two, if you have time, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah,
So thank you.
no problem.
Yeah.
What does anybody else think? Are you happy enough with that?
No, I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'd love to see you doing both of them.
Yeah, I want to see
Fireworks-
both as well, Pony.
The
Yeah.
fireworks is brilliant, and the leaves is also a brilliant idea. So
Right.
yes, both, please.
Same with Pony says. Both, whatever order you want to do them, both please.
Okie dokie.
Wonderful, Lisa. Thank
right,
you.
we'll continue with fireworks next week then, and then the week after is going to be leaves and blossom.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, I'm Blossom. Wow, spoiling us. This is crazy. Wow, I don't think it's my birthday.
Oh, goodness. Oh, excuse me. Hey, well, still got 10 minutes to go. You know what? I'm just gonna do something here. I'm gonna duplicate this. Am I gonna duplicate this? Yes, I am. And I'm gonna move it over here. I'm gonna offset this to maybe 20. So this is now going from 20 to 95. And this is going to be from 95 to 96. And I'll also change its highest point to maybe something like that. That's what I'm going to do. And if I play, We got that. So now, however, they're both exploding at the same time, which isn't right. And the reason is I haven't, it's using the same particle systems because I'm a bit of an idiot. So we'll set this back to where it should be. So 10 to 85 and 85 to 86. So they should now explode at different times. And they do. So we'll do the export thing. Is it set up correctly? PNG without RGB. And I think we'll turn that to 150. That'll do. No camera found in the scene. Of course there's not, because I'm on old Blender. Lisa, you complete idiot. So, viewport. Where's my emitter gone? I don't know. There it is. Duplicate it. Move it over to here.
Oh yeah, you're on 4.5.
Yeah. 20 to 95. 20 to 95. 95 to 96. Go here. And I'll move this down to about there. That'll do. And have a look at the output. I'm going to go to the video sequencer first of all, and I'm going to get rid of these. Go back to the viewport and change this to PNG. Go up here, get rid of all of them. And have a drink of my coffee. Of course, it's rendering this at 50% now, so of course I'm going to have to, doesn't matter. I don't care. Go to video sequencer, add in my image sequence. And then, because we've got two emitters now, one explosion needs to be at 85. So add sound explosion. And the other emitter explosion needs to be at 95. Add sound explosion. So now we've got two overlapping sounds. And I guess the best thing to do here is just to half these now. Otherwise don't think I'd be getting the full thing in screen. That looks, is that gonna work? Don't know. MPEG, 88 mono, 64. No, that's not right. Maybe I should have just kept it at, maybe I should have. See, this is the difference between old and new Blender. Old Blender, you used to have to, if you'd rendered at 50%, you then had to render your frames at half the scale and not at 50% here. But it's all different. I keep discovering new things about new Blender. I'm going to keep calling them old Blender and new Blender, you know.
Yeah, they sort of they give new things, but they take away. You definitely miss stuff
Yeah.
when you use newer blenders.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. 100%. Well, let's see if I'm deafened. Yes, I am. That works. So, I'm literally going to I'm just going to cut that and put it straight into the folder so it doesn't break the link with the video player in Unity. Where did I call it? Fireworks dot, and we'll just paste it into there and have it overwrite. There we go. So now we've got 2 fireworks, which should work fine. I didn't even check to see if the thing was broken before I started building, you know. I just did it. Oh man. I'm pleased the latest version of the uploader though actually asks you if you want to save the scene now. Because the number of times I uploaded it and thought, why isn't it showing up? It's there in Unity, and it's because I hadn't saved the scene and it was still uploading an old version. The simplest things, you know. You can think you know it all. You get sometimes you can be so overconfident and think, oh man, I've got this down. I really understand this now. I'm so pleased. And then it all goes pear-shaped. And it's the tiniest, simplest thing you should have noticed in the beginning that's gone wrong. And you suddenly realise, actually, I'm just an idiot, really.
And when it's so simple, it really stumps you.
Yeah.
Right? Because it makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
2 hours to figure out that you needed to save it. You're like,
That's absolutely right. Well, my video clip's still loaded in there, so that's actually seems to have worked. Don't know about you, but I'm going to nip over because I want to see 2 fireworks now. And here, I want to check if 2 explosions are working at the same time, kind of. Feel free to follow me. I got to find me space first. What did I call it again? Fireworks tutorial. Okie dokie. Oh, yes, it works. Oh, me ears.
sheesh.
Yep, that works. Oh, God. So, there you go. I guess we've had fun blowing things up this week. I can hear it, Bart. It's only very quiet, but it's actually quite cool because every time there's an explosion, your avatar lights up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm reasonably happy with that. You can add like whooshes and
that's
zooms
great.
and whistles and whatever you like. Oh,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good actually. So lovely. I've never used it before. Not in Blender. That's cool.
I don't know. I always like to stand on the train as well. I think we all like to be up high, don't we?
That's it. That's it.
You made it pretty difficult, though. It's not easy.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
it was never something that was intentional anyway, to be honest.
Normally I could get up here.
No, I know you can't, because it's just one big box collider that goes along the full length of the train.
I want to get up here, but you just teleport. I just pressed teleport and got up here.
Oh, yeah, no.
I didn't jump.
know how
I'm
to
too
teleport.
lazy. It's teleport to get up here.
I don't know how to teleport in 2D, I have to admit. I haven't a clue.
What was it? I
Yeah,
think
same
it's a
here.
tab key. Yeah,
Oh,
tab key.
tab.
Press tab. Tab on a
Oh, yeah,
PC.
that's great.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
There
look
you
at
go,
that.
guys.
There you go.
There
Nice.
you
Yeah.
go.
Hey.
I'm not alone now. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I
All
probably
aboard.
Now
should
we
have
got
turned
jump.
down the. Oh goodness, yeah.
Look at the portal. How are we gonna get run and jump into that? Go on, after you. Let's try it.
Woohoo! Oh, that wasn't as
it, I
difficult
did
as
it.
it looked. That wasn't as difficult as it looked. Yeah, so I'll try and remember next week about because I think you can adjust the volume of your sound effects in Blender itself. I don't think you can adjust the volume individually on each sound clip though. It's just a global thing. But we'll have a look at that as well next week. I'm pretty sure that's.
Could
that
you
is
do
the case.
the volume toggle in Unity?
You could. It would mean adding an extra thing to this, so we'd have to add an audio component as well, which would automatically affect whatever's on this quad, i.e. the video player. So even though you're not plugging in an audio clip here, it would still, or should still, affect the video. And yeah, you should be able to adjust the volume on there. However, it's going to affect all the sounds in the video player. So you've got your option of doing it this way, or you can just adjust the volume before it's even rendered and just make it quieter video. So yeah, whichever you're most comfortable with, either would work. But yeah, if you're wanting quieter, some sound effects to be quieter than others, really, I don't know how to do it in Blender, because this is the output, this is how the video is going to be, this volume. Don't know if you've got control over the volume of the clips when they're imported. I'd have to look into that, because if you can't, the only way I can think of to do it would be to adjust the volume in Audacity, make quiet clips and make loud clips, and then put them all together. I can't think of any other way, unless anybody has got a bright idea. I haven't a clue when it comes to this kind of thing. I'd just have to experiment and see what works. I'll see if I can find out if you can adjust the clips individually. But I'm aware it's after 8 o'clock. We're kind of over time anyway, so I'll make a note of it and we'll look at it for next week. And hopefully I'll have an answer. If I haven't, I'm just going to have to say it to you. Sorry guys, you can't do it. But
I bet there's a way.
there must be. There'll be a way, a workaround somehow. Yeah. Okay, well, I will stop the... where's me OBS? I've lost it. Oh, I've just gone past it. There we go. I'll